Okay, hello and welcome to my channel. Today I thought I would do a little tag video living out once again my 2010 fantasies, although the fact that that 2010 was 13 years ago, or 12 years ago rather, is just disturbing to me. But anyway, I thought it would be fun to do the makeup declutter tag that was created by Eva Marie. I've seen some people do this video, and then I watched her video, and I'm first of all obsessed with her now, and second of all I just thought that it could be good, could be interesting, could be fun as someone who does not declutter, full stop period, unless something is like legit has gone bad or is like growing mold or something, just to see, you know, how this goes for me. I will not be decluttering anything. I guess that's like the point of the tag, but I'm not going to do that. I'm just gonna go through the questions. It's not super long. There's only 10 questions, so yeah, let's just go get into it. So the first question is a makeup item that's impractical. Now, my first reaction to this question was that I don't have any makeup items that are impractical. I know that I've seen her and other people talk about loose highlighters, but there's something in me that doesn't feel that against them. I don't know. But one thing that I can for sure say that's impractical after thinking about it are the ColourPop loose eyeshadows that I have. These were in collaboration with Kathleen Lights. The most of the ones that I have, I think I have one that wasn't, but I actually used this specific shade, which is called the Crab. And when I say recently, it was a couple months ago, but it is really pretty, but it's not as pretty as so many eyeshadows that I have that are so much easier to use. So it's just not really worth it in so many ways. It's just so messy and annoying. And I'm constantly concerned that I'm going to knock my arm and then send this entire thing crashing to the floor and spilling everywhere. So definitely loose eyeshadows of any kind, impractical in my books. But I have too many that I just don't use. But will I be decluttering them? Absolutely not. The second question is a mascara that's definitely expired, and I don't have that at all. And that's not even me lying, like I just don't. For a lot of categories of makeup, and mascara is among them, I don't have multiples at a time. I don't have multiples open at a time. The one that I'm using right now is actually, this is what I got for my like birthday gift from Sephora or whatever this year. This is the Charlotte Tilbury Pillow Talk Push Up Lashes Mascara. Obviously a mini, but I just opened this recently and it's definitely within its period of expiration. I know there's like that rule that you're supposed to throw out your mascara after every 3 months. I don't follow that. I just use mascara till it's done. I don't really think about the time. I don't use it. No one else uses my mascaras. So I feel like it's fine. I've never, knock on wood, ever gotten styes or anything. So I feel like I'm not really that concerned about it. I do always think about, like, you know, those little bugs that, or like not bugs, but like those little tiny bug animal things that like live in your skin. If you Google them, it's actually horrifying, so maybe don't, but they look horrifying. But anyway, basically every person has it, like little bug animal things that live in your skin. And they like crawl around your face, and I think there's some that are like specific to your eyelashes. Anyway, anytime I just think of a mascara, I just think of like, I wonder if there are little like animal bugs living in there. Anyway, okay, super. Don't you just love coming to my channel for makeup content? Woohoo! Okay. The third question is a red lipstick you never wear, which actually I'm wearing a red lipstick right now, but I often don't wear red lipstick. And I actually feel like the ones I have, I know, and I rotate through, or I like to think so, except for this one. This is a random one from Elizabeth Arden. Can't even remember how I got this. I think I've used it one time in my life. It's apparently the Ceramide Ultra Lipstick in the shade Rouge 01. It's just a bullet lipstick that's super creamy. And I'm scared of it because I'm scared it's gonna get everywhere. And I don't want a red lip that's like this shiny and just super slippy. So yeah, I don't know. I'm just not really interested in using this, but I keep it around. Why? Because I don't declutter, and also I have like dreams of using this as a cream blush someday that I've never actually done. But anyway, that is my one red lipstick that I can say for sure I never use this. The third question is a high-end item that's not worth the money. Now I actually feel like I don't really have, oops, I'll put this down, that I actually don't really have anything to really say about this. Number one, other than eyeshadow palettes and like blushes and highlighters, I feel like I don't have that many like high-end base products, at least, I guess. But my initial reaction to this question is this Makeup Forever eyeshadow palette, because I hate it. I think it's just very bad. It really hard panned. It's not very good. It's mostly just satin shades. Some of them barely work, and I don't like it. I bought this, I think, from like Marshalls or something for like 20 bucks, but it wasn't worth that. So it definitely wouldn't be worth full price. This is one of the very, very few makeup items in my collection that I could see myself getting rid of, but at the same time, I would never, you know? So, yeah. By the way, I didn't even tell you what it is. This is the Makeup Forever 9 Artist Shadow Palette, and I think version 3. But yeah, don't get it. You probably can't even get it anymore. But anyway, that's that. I also was gonna say the Kat Von D, fucking KVD Vegan Beauty or whatever. At the time it was Kat Von D Everlasting Liquid Lipstick. This isn't specifically in the shade Lolita, but I also had Bow and Arrow and then it went bad, so I actually did declutter that. But I guess they are technically reformulated now, so maybe this doesn't really count, but also I don't think they were ever worth the money or the hype, which is actually a different question, but let's count it for both. They were never that good. And they were super hyped up, and so they definitely weren't worth the money. Like, I have drugstore liquid lipsticks and cheaper liquid lipsticks that work like eons better than these. They're just really patchy and drying. And yeah. Yeah, this one's definitely bad too, but maybe I'll keep it around just for shits and gigs a little bit longer. Number 5 is a Drugstore Dead. I feel like I don't really have... Okay, that's light. I actually do. I was racking my brain trying to think of something to include because I feel like I don't really have that many. Actually, I don't have that many deads, I feel like, in my collection in general, but yeah. Anyway, what I decided on was this Maybelline Master Strobing Liquid Illuminating Highlighter in the shade 100 Light Iridescent. I used to like this a lot when I first bought it. And I don't know if it's just with time that it's maybe gone bad, or maybe I just didn't know what good makeup was when I bought it, which is also a possibility. But it's super metallic, but now I honestly just can't make it work at all, no matter what. Like, I've tried mixing this in with my foundation, I've tried using it under my foundation, even using it as like a liquid highlighter, like just the normal way. I don't like it. I feel like it sets down really quickly. It's just super metallic, so it's really not that flattering. I don't really feel like it blends out that well, and I don't love the way things like layer over top of this. I've pretty much tried like every way that I possibly can to make this work, and I can't figure out how to make it work anymore. So again, maybe this is very appropriate for this video. This is probably the one makeup product, or one of the few makeup products, that I would honestly declutter, as in throw away, because I've tried every conceivable method to try to make this product work in some way so I could just use it up, and I can't get it to work in a way that I like. So yeah. And then number 6 is an eyeshadow palette that you forgot you had. Again, difficult for me because I am like always going through my eyeshadow palettes for some reason or another, talking about them. Like I have a very, I'm always cognizant of every eyeshadow palette that I have, I feel, but if I had to choose, I actually have 2 here. I feel like these are both smaller palettes that I don't love the formula of, so I don't really reach for, and they're off to the side with like my very small palette, so I don't think about them as much. But this is the e.l.f. Mad for Matte 2 eyeshadow palette. I haven't used this in so long, and it's okay, but I, especially after having tried so many other eyeshadow formulas that are so good since I got this, I really like honestly never think about this palette, and it's all matte as well. And then also the Smashbox Cover Shot Nova palette. This, maybe I think about a little bit more, but I don't love it, and I have so many other purple palettes and purple eyeshadows that I prefer, but I don't know. I think it's also just a smaller palette that I keep kind of, it's not really in a separate place, it's just off to the side with my like very small palette, so I just really don't even look at these like visually that much. But honestly, I rarely just forget like, oh wow, I didn't even remember I had that about my eyeshadow palettes very much. Lip products, I always think about that, but eyeshadow, not really. Number 7 is a foundation that's not your shade match. Every single foundation I own. I'm so fair that it's very difficult to find a foundation shade that is good for me. And actually right now in my collection I only have drugstore foundation, so that's, especially in the drugstore, maybe one from Maybelline I have is accurate, but there's 2 that really, every time I use them, they look bad. First is the Revlon Color Stay foundation. This is for the combination to oily one in the shade 110 Ivory. Horrible. It's so dark. It's like probably 2 shades darker than me, and it, I think, oxidizes, but it's one of my favorite foundations. I feel like I should, does anyone know, by the way, I know Revlon filed for bankruptcy, but are they like going out of business as a brand? Like, should I stock up on this foundation? Or do you think, are they still gonna be around? Let me know. If you know, let me know. Anyway, this is one of my favorite foundations. So I just, sometimes, do you just walk around with a foundation that doesn't super match you? I do. I do. That's just me. And then also the L'Oreal Infallible Pro Matte Foundation in the shade 101 Classic Ivory. Just too dark, again, in a pretty visible way, I would say, and it like dries down a little bit darker. These are the 2 that definitely like, I know that they're not the right shade for me, but I would never declutter them. Maybe that's just because I can never really find a foundation that works, so I'm just used to having foundations that aren't great matches, but anyway. Number 8 is a product that wasn't worth the hype. So we already talked about the KVD liquid lipsticks, but actually this is kind of disappointing for me. This is very recent. Sorry, I was just checking that I was filming. This is a very recent purchase. I haven't even talked about this on my channel yet, but to replace my cream bronzer, I recently bought the Tower 28 Bronzino Suncoast Illuminating Bronzino Illuminating Bronzer in the shade Suncoast. This is the lightest shade, and so looking at it, I initially, first of all, I can never, here we go. Looking at it, I'm like, okay, great, it's gonna be like a nice, you know, neutral, shimmery, you know, glowy cream bronzer. I was really looking forward to it. I feel like I've heard a lot of people say a lot of good things about these, and I have really loved the Tower 28 cream blush that I have, but I've used this twice since I got it, and even swatching it, it's like, okay, great. But when I put this on my face, I feel like it just blends. It doesn't even really look like a bronze. It kind of just looks like shimmery, like glowy, like adds a dew, but not a bronzy dew, just like a dew. And I'm super pale, so I feel like anything should be able to show up in my skin, but it kind of just blends away. So, I don't know. It's okay, but I feel like I've heard so much about these cream bronzers, and I really, the 2 times that I've used it, haven't been super convinced, so I'll keep using it, obviously. With cream bronzers, again, that's kind of a product category that I tend to have one of and then use up, but not convinced by this. And I haven't had a dud product in a really long time, so that's sad. Number 9 is a concealer that you couldn't make work. Now I, again, typically don't have that many concealers in my collection at a time, and right now I love all the concealers that I have. I have the 3 that I have are Maybelline Fit Me, which I always have, NARS Soft Matte Complete Concealer, always have, and then I have the Maybelline Superstay Activewear Concealer, and this is a recent favorite. So I really am satisfied with my concealer collection at the moment. But let me take this opportunity to tell you about the worst concealer I've ever tried. and normally, if I don't get along with a product, I feel like generally I can make it work. Especially concealers, I can make them work to an extent that I can like finish them. The NYX Can't Stop, Won't Stop, I think that's what it's called. I'll put a picture here on the screen. Concealer was horrible. It was the worst, literally the worst concealer I've ever tried in my life. It was like, I put it on and it would like instantly dry down. And I could not blend it out. I tried so many fucking things to make this concealer work. I literally had to like put it under one eye, blend it out, put it under one eye, blend it out. Like that was how fast I had to work with that. And even then, it was difficult. It was like instantly, as soon as it touched my skin, it would not blend. God forbid I put it like under my eyes, on my nose, and on my chin and try to blend it out. Like there was no making that work. I tried using a finger. I tried so many different brushes. I tried sponge. It was like horrible. It looked bad every time. So if you're thinking of getting that concealer, don't. It was so bad. Not my collection. I did finish it up actually, but I hated every single second of it. And then number 10 is if you had to start one makeup category from scratch, what would it be? Now this is a difficult one because the thought of having to start any part of my makeup collection from scratch makes me want to scratch my eyes out. But I think if I had to choose, it would be my foundations because I'm feeling in the mood for some new foundations. The ones that I have in my collection now, I like them all, but I've had them for a while and I don't have that many foundations I don't have that many foundations full stop. But foundations, especially high-end foundations, are like intimidating to try because they can be more on the expensive side, but I do love trying them. So then it would like, if I had to start from scratch, it would kind of give me an excuse to buy some of the foundations that it's difficult to justify buying, but that I really want to try. I was gonna say maybe lip products, but no, I don't want to have to start my lip products from scratch. No, I just want to keep buying more. So that is a firm foundation. I guess concealers as well because I don't have that many, but it would just be annoying because I like the concealers that I have now. So foundations specifically is what it would be, or primers, but I also like the primers that I have now as well. You know, maybe we could throw primers in there as an extra category, but that's not really that exciting of an answer. Okay, thank you for tuning in today to hear me talk about products that I may, or, you know, theoretically, if I was a declutterer, I maybe would declutter, but I don't. For me, I mean, I'm all for you doing you. Everyone do what feels right to them, but I have talked about this before. I never feel any type of need or pressure to declutter anything. I don't really see the point. I don't feel generally that overwhelmed with my collection. I like having a lot of makeup. I do my makeup a lot. I generally think I'm pretty good at rotating through the products that I have. The only time I ever really declutter anything is, like, for example, this Maybelline thing. I really just cannot find a way to make it work. So, yeah. Anyway, let me know. I would love to hear your answers to these questions in the comments. I will link Ava Marie's channel down below. It looks like maybe she's going on some type of hiatus from her channel. Not sure, but I will link it down below. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. I upload 3 videos a week. Typically, if you would like to stick around, subscribe or not, you know, up to you, I guess. And I would love to see you in my next one. Bye.